Hey guys, how's it going? Nick is doing some quick mopping. He'll be here in just a second, but got about 4 more minutes until we start. So if you have any questions ready, go ahead and type them into the chat there, and we'll get started at right about 1 p.m. Hey Nick, can you send Isaac the link, please? Hi Kelly, how you doing? Here he comes.
I'm off. It smells funny in here.
Smells funny in here?
Yeah. Oh, this delay thing.
It stopped bothering us last time.
Oh, I've got to turn on the air. I'm sweating. Like that. It's like hot in here, hun.
Yeah, hopefully we get a whole bunch of questions. We're not really guiding this at all. It's all up to you guys what y'all want to ask questions about. It's open to anything, so we'll do our best to answer your questions and just see where it takes us. I love that picture. Say hi.
Hi. I did. You know what whisper to me. You know what whisper to me.
We are located south of Houston, in between Houston and Galveston, about halfway. What about you? Hey Brian, how are you? In germ times. We need a bigger screen. Or a movable camera. That would probably be helpful. Wasn't attached. Oh, right on. Okay, cool, Sean. Yeah, I looked you up earlier, and there were like 4 of you, so I wasn't sure which one, but cool. We're going to lose the first question. All right, well, it's just about 1 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you that don't know who we are on the Acre. We're a microgreen edible flower and specialty produce small urban farm south of Houston, Texas. And we serve to restaurants, caterers, bars, pastry chefs, farmers markets, and direct to consumer.
Really, only direct consumer right
But
now.
currently, yeah, only direct to consumer because everything else is closed. Hey, Leticia. Awesome. That's fantastic news. All right, so I'm going to just start at the top. So if I don't see your message, I'll get to it shortly. But Sean asked, looking forward to the live Q&A. Would love to hear more about snoodles and if you have tried any other forms of noodles and such. Nick, it's a good one for you.
Sure. Snoodles. So Currently, we aren't doing those. We're only doing the micro salad. When we were, we actually weren't selling a whole lot of them. We found that they looked good in this salad mix that we're doing. But we didn't have a lot of restaurants that were actually buying onto it. Every time we grew it, we just grew it and ended up throwing it in a salad. As far as other ways, I mean, we grow it in the light now. Like we have sunflowers that we include in this salad mix. I was just considering putting one of those in a blackout for the salad mix, but I didn't this time. But I think we might try that going forward. Everything is about that salad mix right now, yo.
So to touch on what Nick said, we did actually have one of our restaurants, Vibrant. It's a vegan restaurant that had just placed an order for 2 orders of snoodles a week right before the shutdown. And then we've grown pea tendrils in the dark, which are very, very interesting. They get like a foot long. And then we did amaranth in the dark, which we had really good reception to that from our chefs. But all of that was kind of taking place right whenever it shut down.
Yeah.
So our kind of plan regarding the snoodle concept is to just keep trying new species and see which ones do well. I think barrage we might try. What were some other ones we talked about? You don't know?
So crazy now, no.
Yeah. Oh, the fava beans.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The fava beans. All right. So let's see. Kelly wants to know, what are the best steps for starting a small business in these uncertain and Jeramy times? I would say right now is a pretty cool time to start because there's a fear around, food availability and whether or not our what's it called, distribution lines are going to hold up. So people are definitely turning to small businesses, small local, producers to provide them with healthy food. So I think that if you can take that single idea and expound upon it using social media and whatever ways you have to market it, you can definitely get some traction. Anything you have about that?
No, I would say that we worked off of kind of a damage plan, how we were going to survive for the next 3 to 5 months. And these salads were one of those options. So I would say if you're starting a business, you definitely need to have a lot of ideas to toss around and to find out how to be of service to your community. Every idea you have isn't going to click. So that's what I mean about having a list. It's like throwing rocks into a lake and seeing which one makes the biggest splash. This for us has, and we're chasing it, but it might be different elsewhere. We run with a lot of value-added products and are continuing to expand based upon what, honestly, we can sell, what our community wants right now. So have lots of ideas and be willing to try things and toss them if they don't work. And
to touch on something else, social media has never been more important than it is right now. Yeah. So getting on Facebook, getting on Instagram, posting pictures, and then learning how to work through the Facebook interface. You need to be joining local food groups, your local city, like talk of your city name, as many different communities that are close to you that you can join so that you can share your information to those communities is really what's helping us.
Yeah, you definitely have a captive audience right now.
Yeah.
On top of making those posts, it's good to time it, know when your high peak traffic times are for your desired customer or who you're trying to reach. So that might be a certain day of the week. It might be a certain time of the day that these people are checking those posts. So using all of the tools that those social platforms offer you.
I was giggling at you.
Oh, my screen. We're on a delayed thing, so we see ourselves like later. But utilizing all those tools that Nathan was just talking about on social media platforms to get the best effect.
Yep. All right. So Craven Local Food Market wants to know, What further optimizations have you made on the delivery end? Added products, package size, etc. So this is an ongoing affair between me and the computer. One thing that we ran into a lot was people weren't able to figure out where our done shopping button was. So I've added in, additional information so that they can find that button, because we're using a Google form and it's not a website. It's not perfect. So, and then what else have we done? Oh, we just got a routing program for an app for deliveries so that we can get the most optimized route so that we're not wasting time driving back and forth.
Packaging, we have to make sure that we're keeping up with our packaging size. We landed on that a couple weeks ago, but we're selling so many salads that we're having to buy more packaging in larger quantities and more frequently because everyone's on a delay for shipping. Plus, every single day we order, it goes up like 5-10 times. So it's a little bit of a challenge trying to manage that. We actually had to delay a delivery day by 1 day because we were waiting on our packaging to arrive.
Yeah, it was actually supposed to be on time though. FedEx was a day late, but we got to take that into account right now because everybody, is running slowly or less optimized as they used to be. Another thing that we've done is we're doing different types of deals. So like one day we did buy one, we donate one. Another day we did buy 4, get a flower pack for free, because we have tons of flowers right now and no one to sell them to. So it's kind of a win-win for us. And it was crazy because everybody that day ordered 4, 5, or 6. So it was good. All right, I'm going to move on. If you have more questions, please put them at the bottom. Nick says, so you started in your garage. How did that go and how long did that last? All right, so I want to say we grew our first tray of microgreens when's St. Patrick's Day?
In March.
It's in March?
Mm-hmm, like mid-March.
Mid-March. So we started around the beginning of March, and it was ready right about around St. Patrick's Day. And I took those samples to 2 restaurants. One of them was our first customer, and so we started growing for them in the garage. And by May to June,
somewhere that summer, so about 3 to 5 months we lasted in the garage max.
Yeah. And it got to be 108, 109 degrees in there. Yeah, it was way too hot. It was very, very difficult. So we started looking for alternatives and ended up in the space that we're in now, which is some rented buildings on my parents' property. Anything else?
No, that's the timeline.
How did that go? It went okay at first, right? I mean, it was kind of tough, the watering situation. We had to walk the trays all the way into the backyard to water, and that was time consuming.
We were in a garage. It wasn't like we had transformed the garage into our grow room. It was that, 'cause we were at my parents' house, it was that we agreed to move a whole bunch of their junk to the other side of the garage so we could put up shelves. So it wasn't like we had a really contained or easily manageable space. We literally had a corner to work in, and once we had piled all their stuff up so much that we couldn't expand anymore and we were all getting angry, we moved.
Yeah. And we were trying to figure out how to air condition the space.
Yeah.
And
there's no air conditioning. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay. Brian wants to know, how do you physically make your salad mix? Do you combine all the different microgreens into a big container and then package into the clamshells? So the base of our salad mix is our Acre mix. It's our signature blend of 16 microgreens. And so we're basically still planting and harvesting and mixing that the same way as we always have. When we harvest, or when we plant them all individually, all 16 trays, and then we harvest them into one large container. Then we toss them into the water, and we mix them up in the water so that we don't damage them while we're mixing them. And then we dry them under fans. And once all that's complete, then we're ready to start putting the salad together. You want to talk about putting the salad together?
Sure. So The salad, we'll lay pea tendrils out on the bottom. We advertise in our salad that it's a protein-packed salad, so pea tendrils and sunflowers are added. So it's a layer of pea tendrils, and then our Acre mix. The Acre mix has a couple extra things that, in addition to what he was telling you, which are sunflowers, and I think we're adding celery to it, and maybe one or two that I can't think of now, but that goes on top of the pea tendrils. And then we add edible flowers and nasturtium just for decorative, and also there's flavor in there too, but really just to give it that really pop and makes you excited to get it in addition to eat it.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, like I said a few seconds ago, we have thousands of flowers and no one to sell them to. So it's a really good outlet for us to keep getting rid of our flowers that we need to be cutting so that they don't go to seed. Let's see. Into a container. Okay. And we're using 24-ounce containers.
Yeah, we picked that container specifically because it had a large window on the top of it, and it wasn't that deep. It was shallow and had a large face to it, so it really allowed us and the customer to see everything that's in it and gave us really a pretty window to decorate. And when you look at it, it looks substantial, so it's not a like a short deep dish. It's shallow and it's a large face. It works really well.
Is that a box of them right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really pretty. They're fun to make.
I mean, there's pictures of them.
Yeah. Leticia says fenugreek works well in darkness. I don't think we have any fenugreek seeds still. I've thought about buying them a lot of times, but I haven't yet. But that's good to know, and I will test that out when I get a chance.
Seed stock, no. When all of this happened, we were really at like our fullest and largest production that we'd ever been at, and we were stocked up on seeds. We grow 80, 90 plus varieties of seeds, and we don't run out. So we were very well stocked, and actually I don't know if we've had to order since then, and we're not too worried about it right now. So
yeah, we have over 95 varieties of seeds. So let's say we run out of lemon basil. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, but let's say we did. We just replace it with something else that we have, because we have a lot of things that we're not growing. So it'd be pretty easy for us to not have to worry about that.
How does it work with your health department when you start out of your garage? I'm not really sure, because before the health department got to us, we left the garage. And that's kind of how I would suggest you do it. Actually, when we first got our visit from Texas Department of Agriculture, they really just told us that as you were beginning, go about and do things as you know they're supposed to be done, as far as cleaning and how you handle things in package. And really, if someone addresses you, they're not going to like bam and fine you. They're going to let you know what you have to do to come up to whatever standards your city, county, state, whatever that might be. But really just do a little research yourself, do the best you can, and grow.
Yeah, so what you want to do is contact your local ag extension for your state, and they can give you all of the rules and regulations if you want to know them. But but like Nick said, as long as you are doing the best you can with the knowledge you have, no one's going to come down hard on you. And as long as you're at least 50% or more of your sales are direct to consumer, and restaurants are included in that, then you don't actually have to worry about the majority of the regulations. If you're selling to a distributor, that's when all the rest of that stuff comes in.
For us in Texas, it's a dollar amount on income is when you start to get noticed. So it might be different other places, but here really, if you're under said dollar amount, 25,000, 50, 75, any of these incremental amounts, you just don't get noticed and they won't bother you. Once you start reporting higher incomes, that's when you'll start to notice a little bit more attention from whatever authorities.
All right, so hi Faith. How do you manage the differences in days to harvest for the mixes in order to get such a wide variety already at once? Well,
You wrote a program.
well, before I wrote
Yeah.
a program, I basically all you have to do is plant the seeds, see how long they take to grow.
To the desired.
Yeah, to however you want them to be when you cut them. Find out how many days that is. And then
Stagger planting.
you stagger the planting to make sure that they all end up ready on the same day. And then
It sounds so much easier than.
yeah, it's a little complicated like at first, but once you get used to it, it gets really easy. And then if you just plant all 16 every planting day, in a certain amount of days, eventually they'll all be ready at the same time no matter what. You'll just have some excess at the beginning.
He makes that sound much easier than it was. He's spent since the day we started this business to today and forward writing a program to make all that easy and flow, and it does now, but it's not perfect, and the nature of the business won't let it be so. But him and Jan have actually spent quite a bit of time making that question work for us. So it changes as you grow and you have more stuff and have more clients.
It becomes more and more complicated to keep up with everything. I would definitely recommend to everybody get used to either Google Sheets or Excel, because it's going to end up being the only way you can keep track of everything. Okay, so we're on Brian.
What size clamshells
Are you using for the
are
salads?
we suing?
Yeah. Are you using for the salads, and what are you selling them for? Brian, we're using 24-ounce clamshells, and we sell them for $8 each. And like Nick was saying a second ago, they're the...
Grab one.
Okay, they're the wide, flat. He's going to grab one. We have a box that we just got delivered. Ashley. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Do you use a different blend of soil for your flowers compared to your micros?
Yes, because it's outside.
Yeah, we do. So for our microgreens, we use equal parts cocoa coir and Promix MP. And for the flowers, we typically will use those too as well. But in addition to that, we use an organic compost or, some big bag that we can get at Home Depot or Lowe's that's an organic, nutrient rich. And then we fertilize at the beginning of each month all of our flowers with what is that? Some blooms, potassium stuff. I can't think of the name of it at the moment.
That's in the other room.
Yeah.
Container.
Oh.
Shallow, wide face. It's 24 ounces.
And this is from Eco Products under clear deli containers, 24 ounce. All right, Nick asks the same question many times. Is a food handler's permit needed since you're working with food? Yes. There is my certificate. I think it's got to be reissued soon in July. But yeah, it takes about an hour, 2 hours online. It's like $10. And once you've got that, then you're good. Okay. Those are all the same, right?
What's the weight of the product in those clamshells? That's a good question. Because this has been an evolving process, all I really have right now is kind of a recipe, and we're just now getting our pea tendrils grown so that we can consistently do this. We have been just everything that we could not throw away. We have saved and harvested and kind of added to that Acre mix while we've been starting these salads. But I need to get a weight, so we'll get back to you on that.
So to further talk about that, we don't really sell anything by weight. We sell only by volume for the most part. So we just make sure that the container is full and that the micros are not being damaged. But on top of that, our Acre mix, which is the primary thing that goes in there, in a 64 ounce, we usually get about 6 ounces. Mm-hmm. And in a 32 ounce, we typically get about 3 ounces. So I would say it's probably somewhere around 2.2 to 2.5 ounces in the 24 ounce. But that's just based off of a guess and data. Cool.
Uh-huh.
All right. Chris Butler. Hi, how are you? What variety of flowers do you grow? What is the most popular?
Whatever's in season.
Okay, so here comes a list. So we've got violas, begonias, stock, gem marigolds, standard marigolds, or the French marigolds, calendula, snapdragons, calabrachoa, garlic chive flowers, nasturtium, dianthus, bachelor's buttons, oxalis, violas. Did I say that?
You started with that.
Begonias. Did I say that?
That was like third or fourth. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's in season here right now.
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Daisy.
It changes. We have about 2 seasons in Texas, kind of cold and really hot. That's about it. So we have, in the winter, it changes a little bit. In the summer, we're going to start growing even more than what he just listed. For us, all our flowers are outdoors right now, and actually will not continue to be. We'll have a greenhouse soon. Shh. Yeah.
He's trying to spill the beans. Trying to steal my thunder again.
What's the most popular? It's not so much about what's most popular, it's about what we can grow the best and which reproduces the fastest. We found that violas, begonias are the snapdragons reproduce the fastest, meaning we can harvest them week after week after week and continue to get a consistent amount. Some of the other flowers don't reproduce as fast. The stalk, the calendula,
the nasturtium.
Those are actually, we have huge beds of that. I'm getting like hundreds of those now, honestly. They're everywhere.
Yeah, we only have 4 calendula plants, though.
Yeah, exactly. How much space you have to grow them and what you can grow best in your environment.
It seems like on average that the bigger the flower is or the more petals it has, the longer it takes to open.
Yeah.
So violas, they have 4 petals and they open almost one every single day, whereas the calendula might take a week to produce 1 flower. So definitely take that into account. I would go with violas, begonias. I would just start with those 2. That's what we started with, and it was very successful.
They reproduce the fastest. You can literally harvest those twice a week and continue to get the same amount from them if you are keeping them up.
Yeah.
Okay. Scroll down a little bit.
Okay. Oh, shoot. We're right here.
Yeah.
Hi, Bert.
Yep. For your microfarm kits, did you have to get approval from Bootstrap to resell their trays? I guess, I don't know. We talk with them often, and so it was, I don't know if we asked permission because it isn't necessarily, it's a kit that we put together that uses their product. So it's just kind of more advertising for them. It's one component of that kit, so I don't even think we really asked. We just said we needed more trays to support it.
Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind that that would be a concern, to be honest with you. But Bootstrap is here, so I'm sure that they can chime in about their feelings about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like
if we should have asked.
It looks like he's talking about it.
Okay.
Below. All right. Kelly says, "Okay, great. Thanks. I will." Bootstrap Farmer says, "Bert, have at it. That's what they're designed for." Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Leticia says, "Bootstrap Farmer, do you have a tray without holes to fit 1 5x5 tray?" So, Leticia, are you asking if there's a 5x5 bottom that doesn't have holes, basically, because all of the 5x5s do typically have holes? I don't think that there is, but Brandon can probably answer.
Is not receiving enough video. What does that mean?
And we're losing internet. Sorry, guys. Looks like we're having a little bit of internet issues. Or do appear to be buffering.
That's unfortunate.
Hey, can you guys let us know if you're able to still see us okay? Should we keep answering the questions, or are we like chopping?
Should we?
We can go move further over there.
Do you think that matters?
I have no idea. We gotta wait 30 seconds for them to answer us.
Maybe he should just type.
You chat.
Something.
I'm gonna call Nick.
Okay.
You can type.
I can type.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm like typing and not even in the spot. How funny.
Okay.
He just says keep going?
So keep going like it's not doing it.
Alrighty.
We're switching sides?
Yeah, we're switching sides.
Okay.
Keep on working.
Bootstrap says, who to check in with? Okay. Bootstrap. All 5x5s have drain holes. Yep. Ashes thanks.
How did you decide on top, bottom watering pros and cons? We don't really top water anything, except for flowers outside. It's only bottom watering. I don't know that we ever considered that because of our flood trays, and we always water into a sink or a basin. So it's all bottom watering, so you don't get water on top of your leaves. It keeps parasites and bacteria and things that could be in the water from getting onto it, and contains it in the soil below. So it's a better product for us with less opportunity for infections or for parasites.
Yeah, on average, the only time that our plants are touched is when the day they're harvested. From the seeds all the way till they're harvested, nothing is touching them except for air. Yeah. So, yeah, top watering also is not really great for microgreens because they're so weak. They can they'll fall over, and you don't want to be putting the stem or the leaves in contact with the soil.
Is that where they're seeing? Is that where they're at? Me, like my giant face?
No.
Okay. Very choppy.
They said yes, please keep going.
Okay.
Hold on, we gotta scroll back up.
Okay.
So Sean says, have you experimented with different grow mediums, ProMix, Coco Coir, etc., and what works best for you? So when we started, we were buying microgreen soil from Lowe's and Home Depot, made by Jiffy, and it was actually really good soil, but it's very expensive. And then we started looking for a larger quantity, and it was Jay Spart. He actually recommended the ProMix MP to us. And then we kind of experimented with the cocoa and different quantities and amounts.
And I've stuck with that mix of those two.
Yeah, the ProMix MP by itself did not work for us because if you ever let it dry out, what did you do? If you ever let it dry out, it's really hard to get it working again. So the Coco Coir, it naturally holds in a lot of moisture. So it keeps it, it makes it easier for it to re-wet. All right. All good, yes. Do you grow your flowers indoors?
No. Some of them, like the small gem marigolds, we do. But for the most part, all of that's outdoor. Not because we wouldn't try to. It's really a space limitation with the rooms that we're currently in. We grow in about 250, 300 square foot room. Is all our indoor growing space. Everything else is outside right now. So,
yep.
Not that you can't.
Outdoor both. Leticia, I was looking for bottom smeg in village. Okay. Everybody's letting us know that it's choppy. Yes, please keep going. Maybe we broke the internet. Sit tight, folks. We are pressing on and hoping the buffering will resolve itself. Start a YouTube channel soon, please. We've talked about it many times and we'd love to do so. We just have never gotten around to it, but I feel like right now might be the time to do so. So Nick will be doing that. Nickisms will be the channel name. Well, you guys have stopped putting in questions, so
You must not be able to.
yeah.
It must just be my horrible, like this horrible face. Like, how are you creatively adjusting your business to meet reduced/increased demand for microgreens? We kind of touched on that in the beginning with a brainstorm we did with our whole team, and everybody just throwing out ideas about ways to engage our community and new audiences. So we were primarily restaurant driven business, and we did a lot of other small things on the side, like caterers and cupcakes and meal prep and a farmer's market and lots of little things, but those were all just kind of tertiary to the beef of what was the restaurant business. And just having all of those ready to go and seeing if we could expand on any of the stuff we were already doing on those areas, and then just brainstorming and trying new things and not being afraid to put yourself out there.
Oh, I had something I wanted to say, but then I distracted myself. So whenever our restaurants first, got shut down and weren't able to stay open, we stopped growing for a week or two. All right, Kelly, thank you as well. We're hoping that even though it appears to be buffering for you right now, that the video is still recording, and once it finishes buffering, we'll be able to put this up on the YouTube channel and you'll be able to see it normally. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we're going to keep answering as long as you guys keep asking questions. So going back to how did we adjust? We stopped growing for about a week and a half, and then during that time is when we started creating the salads and getting out there on Facebook and Instagram and creating some buzz. And then we decided, oh gosh, we're actually running out of product when we thought we had too much. So we started planting once a week again. And now we're actually planting double what we were planting before. So we're trying to keep up with demand while not growing too much at the same time.
It's very different now also because overall, I would say our price point is down, meaning that individually the $8 salads, the amount we put in there versus the kind of specialty market we were serving before that, when we were growing very specific herbs and very specific, like a mustard to this height for this client and a mustard to this height for this client, and really getting into the nitty gritty of culinary experience. Whereas now we're just trying to get like really good healthy food into people's hands, and a lot of people's hands. So it's a completely different business model altogether, in that we're kind of having to put out a little bit more product, and we're making a little bit less for it. But we're actually getting a much wider audience and a much more direct contact with them. And when all this evens out, we should have that new audience and have all the restaurants waiting for us. At least that's
wait till all these customers go to Main Street Bistro or Mirai and sees our microgreens on top, and they're like, I was ordering that.
Yeah.
So Kelly says, okay, I talked about that. Sean says, some like live trays. What would be a good source for compostable 5x5 trays to avoid tray trade, which can be difficult at farmers markets? So you want a compostable 5x5 tray to be able to give to people without creating the waste.
Or having to return.
Hemp mats tend to be pretty together. So you may be able to plant 10-20 and then cut them into pieces and then sell those to people that they could take home with them.
Yeah.
Paper bag?
On that note, yeah. used to recycle water containers and all kinds of plastic containers that our families would use. So water bottles and jugs, and we would literally cut the tops off those and sell the bottoms to people with plants in it, and they took it and we didn't get it back. It was kind of a second use for plastic. We've always experimented with...
I need to pull that picture up.
Yeah, with sustainable practices, even when we didn't have a lot of means to do so. So that would be our foray into...
Yeah, if you take a gallon jug and cut the lid off and turn it upside down, then you have a planter. They take about 2 weeks.
Yeah, max
12 days. But in about 6 days, they're about that long. So they grow just as fast as they do in light. They actually kind of...
I would say faster.
Yeah, they grow faster lengthwise.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy stuck on the screen. This is you trying to type that.
I know.
It says stream is healthy.
Yeah. Funny thing.
Oh, back to pour.
I was trying to type that and it wasn't even in the box. It was kind of...
All right, guys. Y'all have any more questions? I know I'm probably like 10 minutes in the back. Okay, well, let's go ahead and end it for today. I'm sorry to cut this short, guys. This really sucks.
We will be back next week.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing this every week.
But better.
But better. And just to let everyone know, our class is on sale for the entire month of April at half off. And you can get that at urbanfarmacademy.com. And the course is called The Business of Microgreens. And please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And we apologize about the crazy internet. Y'all have a great one. Bye.
Bye.